Think you found a car bargain? Not so fast. Consumer Reports has tested and reviewed thousands of cars, and these three models come up again and again as the ones people regret buying. On paper, they look like smart buys, cheap, efficient, or stylish. But once you live with them, the flaws pile up. Weak engines, cheap interiors, lousy safety, and reliability headaches. Stick around to see which ones made the list, and what you should buy instead. First, Mitsubishi Mirage. Alright, let's kick things off with a car that has consistently ranked at the very bottom of Consumer Reports charts for years, the Mitsubishi Mirage. On paper, the Mirage looks like a deal too good to pass up. It's one of the cheapest brand new cars you can buy, it promises outstanding fuel economy, and it's small enough to fit in tight city parking spots. Sounds perfect for budget-conscious buyers, right? Well, here's the catch. Everything else about this car screams compromise. The first issue? The engine. The Mirage comes with a tiny 3-cylinder engine that produces around 78 horsepower. Yep, you heard that right. Just 78. That makes it one of the weakest cars sold in America today. Trying to merge onto the highway in a Mirage feels like asking a hamster to sprint a marathon. You'll have the pedal to the floor and still feel like everyone else is flying past you. Then there's the ride quality. The Mirage's suspension feels cheap and unrefined. Every pothole, every bump in the road, you feel it all. And while small cars can sometimes feel zippy or fun to drive, the Mirage is just the opposite. It's sluggish, loud, and uninspiring. Consumer Reports often calls it one of the least enjoyable cars to drive, period. Now, let's talk about the interior. This is where the budget cuts really show. Plastics everywhere, seats with barely any padding, and an overall cabin that feels more like an economy rental car than something you'd want to live with every day. Even the tech feels outdated. While competitors are adding touchscreen systems and modern driver assist features, the Mirage gives you the bare minimum. And safety? Well, the Mirage's crash test ratings have been another sore point. Consumer Reports consistently warns that the car's lightweight build and lack of advanced safety features make it a less than ideal choice, especially for families. Finally, let's not forget resale value. Cars like the Mirage lose their value very quickly. Sure, you saved money up front, but when it's time to trade it in or sell it, you'll be disappointed at how little it's worth. So, while the Mirage may be tempting for first-time buyers looking for something cheap and efficient, Consumer Reports and countless owners will tell you, this is a car you'll regret in the long run. Reliability is average at best, the driving experience is frustrating, and you'll constantly be reminded of all the corners that were cut to make it affordable. Bottom line, if your budget is tight, there are better used cars out there that give you way more comfort, safety, and overall value than a brand new Mirage. Second, Chevrolet Spark. Next up on our list is the Chevrolet Spark, another subcompact car that looks good on paper, but ends up being one of those vehicles that most buyers regret owning. At first glance, the Spark seems like a smart choice. It's affordable, small enough for city driving, and comes with decent fuel economy. Chevy marketed it heavily as a perfect urban car for younger drivers or first-time buyers. But here's the problem. While it's cheap, you really feel every corner that was cut to keep it that way. Let's start with performance. The Spark is powered by a 1.4-liter 4-cylinder engine that produces just 98 horsepower. And while that sounds slightly better than the Mitsubishi Mirage we just talked about, the truth is, the Spark isn't much quicker. On highways, it feels sluggish, especially when merging or trying to pass. Consumer Reports has often complained about its lack of power, saying it makes driving stressful rather than enjoyable. Now, the ride quality. The Spark is tiny, and that means it struggles with road comfort. Every pothole, every crack in the pavement gets transmitted directly into the cabin. Combine that with loud road and engine noise, and you'll quickly realize that long drives in the Spark are not fun at all. Consumer Reports has repeatedly noted that the Spark feels cheap and underdeveloped compared to rivals in the same segment. And then there's the interior. To be fair, Chevy did try to give the Spark a bit of a modern look inside, with some youthful design touches and a touchscreen infotainment system. But once you sit down, you realize how cramped it really is. The rear seats, basically unusable for adults on anything longer than a 5-minute trip. The cargo space? Laughably small. Consumer Reports has criticized the Spark for its lack of practicality, especially when compared to other small hatchbacks that actually make better use of their space. Another huge drawback? Safety. The Spark has consistently scored poorly in crash tests, and it lacks the advanced driver assistance features that many competitors now offer as standard. Things like automatic emergency braking or lane departure warning are either unavailable or only found on higher trims, which pushes the price into the territory of far better cars. Third Dodge Journey. Now, let's talk about a car that overstayed its welcome by at least a decade, the Dodge Journey. On the surface, the Journey was supposed to be the budget-friendly family SUV. It had 3 rows of seating, a rugged look, and a price tag that was noticeably cheaper than most mid-size crossovers. For families looking for value, it seemed like an attractive option, but dig a little deeper, and you'll quickly see why Consumer Reports has consistently ranked it as one of the worst SUVs on the market. Let's start with the age factor. The Journey first came out in 2009, and Dodge barely bothered to update it. By the time it was finally discontinued in 2020, it was already way behind the competition. While Toyota, Honda, and even Kia were modernizing their SUVs with advanced safety tech, efficient engines, and stylish interiors, the Journey was stuck in the past, both in design and performance. Now about performance. The base engine in the Journey was a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder that made just 173 horsepower. On paper, that doesn't sound too bad, but in a vehicle this heavy, it was painfully underpowered. Acceleration was sluggish, passing on the highway was a chore, and with a dated 4-speed automatic transmission, yes, a 4-speed when everyone else had moved on to 6, 8, or even CVTs. The driving experience felt clunky and out of touch. Consumer Reports regularly criticized the Journey for being one of the worst in its class to drive, describing it as underwhelming, noisy, and cheap feeling. The interior is another sore spot. At first glance, it might look spacious, and yes, it does technically have 3 rows, but the 3rd row is so cramped it's basically useless for adults, and even kids don't enjoy sitting back there for long trips. The materials? Cheap plastics everywhere. The design? Outdated even 5 years into its run. By the late 2010s, when competitors like the Honda Pilot or Kia Sorento felt modern and premium, the Journey felt like stepping back in time to a rental car from 2010. And let's not forget safety. The Journey lacked the advanced driver assist features that had become standard elsewhere. No automatic emergency braking, no lane keeping assist, no adaptive cruise control. All things that make family SUVs safer and easier to drive. In crash tests, the Journey performed poorly, especially in small overlap crash tests that simulate hitting a tree or pole. Consumer Reports constantly warned buyers about its below-average safety scores. Then, there's reliability. Dodge hasn't exactly had a strong reputation for dependability, and the Journey was no exception. Owners reported frequent issues with the transmission, electrical systems, and brakes. Combine that with its poor resale value, and you've got a vehicle that doesn't just disappoint while you own it. It also hurts your wallet when you try to sell it. One more thing that Consumer Reports often points out is owner satisfaction. Surveys showed that most Journey owners regretted their purchase within just a few years. Complaints ranged from, "It feels outdated," to, "It doesn't drive well," to, "I wish I had spent a little more and gotten something better." That last one really sums it up. The Journey lured people in with a low sticker price, but in the long run, it just wasn't worth it. At the end of the day, the Dodge Journey became a symbol of what happens when a car company keeps a vehicle on life support for too long without real improvements. It was cheap up front, but families quickly discovered that cheap often means cutting corners in comfort, safety, and reliability. And that's why Consumer Reports and most buyers gave it a big thumbs down. And there you have it. 3 cars that Consumer Reports and real owners say just aren't worth the money. Sure, they might look affordable or stylish, but when you add in weak performance, safety gaps, and constant repairs, they're the definition of false economy. Remember, a car should be more than cheap. It should be safe, reliable, and something you don't dread driving every day. If this video helped you dodge a mistake, smash that like button, subscribe for more straight-shooting car breakdowns, and tell me in the comments which of these cars shocked you most. Until next time, drive safe.